Welcome back, everybody, man. I'm your host, Meet Me on the 50. We are back for another awesome episode of the Director's Corner. Tonight we have somebody very special, another living legend. We had Mr. Emery Fears on a few weeks ago. Shout out to Mr. Fears. That was a very good interview. I learned so much during that show. But tonight we're gonna have another illustrious guest, man. He has been with the Howard University band program, I want to say, for over 25 years. He's been a band director for over 50 years. Had the band going from Macy's Day Thanksgiving parades, had them at multiple NFL games. They marched for the President Barack Obama's inauguration in 2009. What else? What am I leaving off? The grand opening of the African American Museum. They were there for that. So yeah, he has a lot of accolades under his belt. Mr. John Newson. Mr. John Newson. Here we go. Welcome, sir. Oh, the audio. I don't hear you. I don't hear your mic on. So you have a microphone button. Can you click that for me? We gonna get it together, y'all. We live, y'all. We live. You see it on there? Look at that backdrop, y'all. Look at that wall right there. Hey, y'all, everybody in the comments, make sure you share this out. I want everybody in this thing. You're not using Bluetooth, are you? There should be an audio button. Do you see an audio button in the corner somewhere? Yeah. Click it one more time. All right, do me a favor. Go ahead and come out. Just go ahead and close out that screen and come back in. Click the link that I sent you to get back in. Let's try that one more time. We're going to get it together, y'all. We gonna get it together, man. So, when you live and direct, this is the stuff you got to do. We gonna get it together. All right. So he's gonna click that link. He's gonna come on back in. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Make sure you share this out, y'all. Share this out to all your social media platforms. Yeah. We need to get a good crowd in here for Mr. Newson. And any questions that you have for Mr. Newson, make sure you send them to me on Instagram at MeetMeOn50. Okay, that's how we're gonna get the questions. And while he's doing that, well, hold on before I get into this book. Make sure Mr. Newson good. Let me give him a call. And while I'm doing that, Google generational wealth. I need y'all to get this book right here. It's
Yeah.
All right. What's going on, Mr. Newson?
The volume is up on my phone.
Yeah. So when we did our test run, whatever you did for the test run, gotta do the same thing. We couldn't hear you when you dialed in for whatever reason. Yeah. Let's hang up. So you're using your phone, right?
Yeah, I'm using my phone, and I'm trying to see if.
All right. Let me hang up then. Let me hang up. Click the link. Click the same link that I sent you last time.
All right.
Okay. I think his son is helping him out. Y'all give him a chance, man. Like I said, Google Generational Wealth, the Beginner's Business and Investment Guide. I'm talking about, this is entry level to stocks, investments, marketing, brand management, anything. Let me see. Let me read through the contents. Economics, real estate, and this is all introductory level. So this is getting you started. You know what I'm saying? This is a lot of information that's over a lot of people's heads, but this is a very thin book. It's not a long read, but it gives you the beginning steps you need to embark in creating generational wealth for yourself, man. It's by LaFoy Orlando Thomas, Esquire, 3rd edition, Generational Wealth. All right, pick that up, y'all. It's good. All right, what's going on? Let's go ahead and go to another Howard University clip. Any luck over there, Mr. Newson?
What's that?
What'd you say?
No, I said, did you hear me there?
I don't see you on the screen. Did you click the link that I sent you, the last one?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
The very last one.
Hello?
Uh-huh.
Mic check.
All right, can you say something, sir? My check. Hey, Mr. Newson, can you use your son's phone with somebody else? Can you text me his phone number, whoever phone you have over there? Just try somebody else's phone. Okay, mic check, mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, there you go. I hear you now. You good. Gonna let this thing ride out right here. All right, we got action, y'all. We got action. Hey, make sure y'all hit that like button, share this thing out, share it with everybody. All your social media. Let's get everybody over here to Mr. Newson. All right, there we go. You on there now, Mr. Newson?
Okay.
How you feeling? Okay, we good now. We got audio, we got video, everything's good. Hey,
All righty.
yeah. So everything's good. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling fine.
You feeling fine? You staying inside? You know, you staying indoors, staying healthy, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I like the land of the living.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what you doing with yourself these days? How's retirement treating you right now?
It's fine. I'm have some projects going on. When I retired from Howard, I brought a whole lot of boxes home, and I've been starting with a display and putting books up and taking some books down, putting pictures up, and I have a wall that I've pretty much finished right now. So that's been a project. And I have my honeydew list, which is
I was about to say, that sounds like a honeydew list right there, Mr. Newson. Yeah, so
If you had seen my basement,
say it
if you
again.
had seen my basement, you would.
I'm sorry, you said if I seen your basement, what?
I said if you had seen my basement and the way it looked with the boxes, you would understand. But it's pretty clean right now.
You got it together. Good to go. Good to go. Well, hey, sir, thank you for accepting my invitation for the show. This is our second go round because we had one before, like last year, I want to say, and some difficulties on the technical side, but everything's good. I think we're gonna have a great show tonight, and I do appreciate you for being on.
So I appreciate you for inviting me.
Yeah. So you sent me some video footage. I wanted to show that for all the fans, but we weren't able to get that on the screen. But behind Mr. Newson right here, he has a wall, man, his own wall, just all the accolades, everything that he's done in his career as a band director, as a musician. Some things dealing with his fraternity, a lot of different things. We can touch on all that tonight. There's some clicking noise. You hear any clicking noise on your side?
Yeah, I hear the clicking myself. Not sure what it is. I might be just bad luck, huh?
Well, let's run it. Let's run it. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Mr. Newson. So we know the some of the music side of you, but where are you from originally?
I was born and raised in Rayville, Louisiana, a small town in North Louisiana. Close to Monroe, close to Shreveport, close to Grambling. At that time, the school system I was at started out at Rosenwald, kindergarten through 12. So it changed over to Unity Britain, and graduated in 1965. And that summer I went to school at some university. I studied that summer. Okay. I was able to finish up in 3.5 years. I had completed all my coursework, and I was getting ready to start doing my student teaching. And I was in the student teaching for 2.5 weeks. And I got called to the music department, and I was trying to figure out what I had done wrong. But they had an opening for a band director and didn't have anybody available. had graduated, and they thought about me and asked me would I be willing to go and take a high school band director's job. It counted my student teaching, and I get paid, and it's close to my parents' house. And they said, Greg, can talk to your parents tonight and let us know tomorrow.
That's a short suspense right there. That's a short turnaround.
I ran to my dormitory. I called my parents collect, and they said, you don't have to wait until tomorrow. You go back over there and tell them, yeah. And that was it. I had my, as far as my college band director, it was Ludwig Freeman. And at that time, Isaac Dick was the high school at the lab school. And those 2 weeks that I was there, I studied with him, and accomplished a whole lot and learned a whole lot from him. So that was a year and a half in Louisiana, teaching there, and the salary was, $4,400 a year.
No.
I don't know how I paid it.
$4,400 a year?
$4,400. Don't ask me how I made it, but I did. And my friend had left and moved to Detroit, and I decided, and he called me and said, the job opening in Detroit, I can get the salary I'm making, and off I went to Detroit. I was there for 1 year, teaching in the middle school out in Grosse Pointe, which is a suburbs of Detroit. I went back to Louisiana to finish up my master's, and while I was in Louisiana finishing up my master's, I was able to, I had one class left after that, but the chairman of the music department at Prairie View called, I don't know how he found, anyway, he asked me whether I interested in a college job. At the same time, I was only 22 or 23. I was a young little kid at that time, but I told him I had more classes to complete before I could have my master's degree. And he said, well, let me work on something for a day or so. He called me back the next day and said, the university that I'm at would need to take the last class at Prairie View. And then he wanted to know if I would be willing to come and work at Prairie View. That was a college job.
Hey, Mr. Newson, can I jump in real quick? Mr. Newson, so what year was this again?
I graduated high school in 1965.
So I'm trying to. So we went through a lot just now. So if I can just go back a little bit, childhood. So if I can ask, what year were you born?
1948.
48. Okay, so 48. Grew up in Louisiana. Okay.
1948.
Okay. I'm trying to think of the social climate during this time, because a lot was going on right now in the world. I like to kind of use that as a point of reference as well, because you've seen a lot. I don't want to fast forward too much, because outside of band, I want to learn more about your experiences as a human being. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Well, in the South, of course, segregation was a main thing right there. So it was all blacks at one school and whites at another school, and it stayed that way. Some of the same stuff that's going on right now is some of the same stuff that my father had. Me and my brothers out there walking with him and so forth, but it wasn't no violent thing. But it was hard growing up, and I didn't know what it was like on the other side. And I learned a whole lot. We would get out of school, and in the summertime, when we first go back to school, and when those first month or so, the blacks at the black schools would get out of school at 12, and we would go home and change clothes and get on the truck and go pick cotton for the rest of the evening to about 5 or 6. So, and then get our maybe 75 cents or $1.
How old were you? How old were you during that time?
How old was I then?
Yeah, at that time.
I was still in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 15 to 14, something like that. So I finally graduated. I stopped the cotton, and my father was a man of all trades. He had his own grocery store. He had his own shoe shop. He had his own business. Had a grocery store. You name it. He was a truck driver, but he was a master of all trades, and so he
Yeah.
taught us a whole lot and taught us how to, do things in regard to everyday living and how we can sit there and. Matter of fact, we helped build that we grew up in. I
Mm.
have about 10 scars on my hand from missing the nails and
Woo.
hitting my hand on everything. But
I bet. So did you have
the only
siblings?
way we learn how to do
Did you have any siblings, or do you
it,
have any
huh?
siblings? Do you have any siblings?
I, yeah, I have two brothers. But one is younger and one is older. The oldest one is a concert pianist. He lives in Atlanta, Georgia. And my younger brother's in Atlanta right now. He's having medical issues. And so, but we all grew up together. We were real close growing up through high school.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
after high school,
you mentioned that
mhm.
your brother's also a pianist. So what's your earliest memories of being introduced to music? Obviously this is a passion of yours. So what's your earliest memory of that?
uh, it started with my oldest brother. Uh, he got in the band, and he had a clarinet, and the same clarinet I have on display here, the same one we started with
Yeah.
in the 60s. But so anyway, it went as more he played, the better instrument he had, and it was passed down to me.
Oh, okay. That's
But at
how
the
it
same
works. That's
time, we
mm-hmm.
all played, and we also had piano lessons.
Okay.
I stunk at the piano, and but I wanted to go play ball and do everything else. But I had fun doing it, and so he continued everything and went on to get his doctoral degree at Peabody Conservatory in
Oh,
Baltimore,
oh wow.
and
Wow.
also his master's there. So
Wow.
my younger brother Lee, he was the jack of all trades. You name it, he could do it. It doesn't matter, but he picked up all the technical skills that we kind of halfway put aside, and I went from there. But it was a learning experience growing up, and once I finally got to college, Southern University was student-wise was larger than my whole hometown, so
Oh.
I had a chance to see a whole lot of people.
So what was college
Even
life?
women.
What was college life like at Southern during your time while you was there? Like the Greek life and everything. What was it like?
Uh, it was fun my first year, and I was doing everything wrong, and I was following in my older brother's footsteps, and he was getting all A's. Matter of fact, he got 1B in college, and that was in swimming. But my first year, I was I was learning and learning and learning and looking at the women, going to the clubs,
Oh yeah, you got to do that. You in college. That's
all
that's
the
part of the
above.
game.
Yeah, so I had some bad grades at the end of the summer, and uh, my father pulled me in and said, at that time, the Vietnam War was going on, and they was drafting. So we were in college, so we was kind of halfway out of it. But he said if my grades didn't improve, he was going to enlist me into the military. And I said, no problem. And so those 3.5 years in Southern, I had a ball, but
Oh
I
yeah,
did
you got
study.
you had your head on straight after that, huh? Yeah,
No
yeah, yeah.
question. It was a learning experience, and I enjoyed it to the utmost. I didn't know how much I would enjoy college life until I experienced it. And then, like I said, after that,
Well, hold on,
it
Mr.
was
Newson.
Prairie View, and then I went to.
Hold on, Mr. Newson. So,
Huh?
on your wall you have a plaque of Omega Psi Phi. So you pledged there, right? You pledged at Southern.
I started at Southern,
Okay,
and
okay,
then I had to drop out due to some financial issues. I finished the Prairie View grad chapter when I went there and started teaching.
okay, okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah, an Omega man all the way.
yeah, yeah. Well, how do you think Omega has changed you? How did it a better you as a man?
Well, it it turns you totally around and have you make you can appreciate life a lot better. I know a whole lot of people have a bad image of the Omegas, but if you look at the whole picture and the things they do and the people that's involved in it, it would shock you, from Shaq to Michael Jordan. The list can go on for days and so forth. But I hadn't been active in the last couple of years, and this is on my bucket list to get back active now that I have time. And
Okay,
soon as this
so who
virus
was?
passes.
Nah, we gonna pass it soon. I think you know, it's one or two things is gonna happen. But what all these protests is gonna either multiply or it's gonna show that it's not really a thing. It's gonna debunk the whole myth. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna find out. But well, when you were at school, who were some of your mentors? You mentioned Dr. Griggs. But who were some of the other people who
Um,
impacted your decision to want to pursue this music thing? Full speed ahead.
well, I'm starting with my high, and I think he was the one that inspired me because I didn't see the inside picture. All would have a chance to see is him waving his hand in front of the band and teaching a piece of music and having fun and laughing
Yeah,
and joking all day.
yeah,
That was the wrong answer.
yeah,
But once I got to college, I Ludwig Freeman was my band director. I marched 4 years under him,
hmm
and I learned a whole lot. And it was pretty much the foundation of what Southern is today that he started. Dr. Griggs got there after that, but I got to know Dr. Griggs, and he was a teacher. He was a leader, and he was willing to share all his skills he had. And
yeah.
he's one that instilled in me, I can't take care all my knowledge to the grave and to share. And I even have one of his books here right now
hmm
that he let me use. And later on, he told me, "You go ahead and keep it. You might need it,"
Right.
and so forth. Then there was Mr. Greer, who was the band director at Tennessee State.
Okay.
He won. I got to know a whole lot of college band directors as a student in college, but back there wasn't a whole lot of pageantry going on. And the first sight of it was Tennessee State came to Southern University. They had only part of their uniform, which was like a dinner jacket and the pants. The overlay didn't come in till later.
Uh
And we laughed at them, of
huh.
course. Having
Okay.
fun. They went there and done a show, and this is when Mission Impossible came out.
Mm.
And they formed a tape recorder on the field, and they had all the recording going on, and then the smoke went up in the air, and it blew me. So even after we finished that night, I had to go over and meet him.
So hold
And
on. What
Mr.
year? What year was you were
Dave
in
asked
college in
me,
the six? This was like 68, right? Something around 67, 68 time frame.
yeah, I was there 65, 66, 67, 68, and I graduated.
All right.
I didn't graduate till May, uh, but I was only there in January of '69
So during that
before I
time,
left
that
and
that
went
was
there.
obviously before Dr. Greg. So that was Professor Freeman then that was directing the bands at Southern at that time, right?
Yeah, Ludwig Freeman was the band director. I think he got there in '64 and he left in right after '69 and '69. He left
So what
and
was
I went from there. But
so
he had two hell of assistants, Alvin Baptiste and Mr. Dillon, Don Dillon. And he had Paul Adams, who just got on the staff. And me and him have come to be close friends.
yeah
He was there for one. He got drafted into the military,
yeah.
and he played in the band. He played in the military band. Then he came back to Southern afterwards, and he taught at Norfolk. He taught at Jackson State. So he's a legend by himself, and he's a ranger and stuff.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely. So
yeah, so that
Southern's band,
that's several of the.
Southern's band, compared to how they are now. So what was the style of Southern at that time while you were in the band? Was it more traditional or?
Uh, the style was the same.
Oh,
I
really?
think that the basic marching and stuff was right there that was taught. under Lovely Freeman. And I think that when Isaac Gregg got there, he put a little bit more show style into the band, the instrument swings, the high needle, the show more entertaining.
Gotcha.
Whereas that with Mr. Freeman, we had, we do the drills and so forth and everything else, but above all, we would have say formation and place nice stage tunes and so forth, Alfie and tunes like that. But once Grace got there, I wasn't there at that time, but he turned it around in regard. He was a good public relation person, plus he was a good person with bands, and that's what I learned from him. And I carried that on throughout my 50-year teaching. And that's, treat people the way you want to be treated. And at the same time, respect the students, they respect you. And, doing practice is a whole different story. But, they might get fat, whatever the case may be. But they get fussed at, but after practice, it's over with, and we go from there. And I have students from 20, 30, 40 years ago that are still in contact with me and just checking on me.
What was your last year as a high school band director?
What was the what? I'm sorry.
Your last year as a high school band director.
At the high school?
Yeah, on the high school level, right.
I mean, I'm teaching.
It
was a young band, and that year and a half I had there, it was in Tallulah, but the outer skirts, Thomastown High School, and we had a small band, maybe 40 or 50 students. It was a learning process and teaching fundamentals at that time. I probably needed another 3 or 4 years there just to kind of weave them into being where I wanted them to be. But,
now, what year was that, though? What year was that while you were there?
I went there in January of 1969.
Okay.
And I taught until May, and then that September to May, which was 70.
Okay, so 1970.
I went to Detroit, and then 71 at Prairie View as the associate band manager.
Okay.
And first head job was at Albany State College in Albany, Georgia. And I stayed there 1 year, and then I got a big break to go to Morgan State.
Okay, hold on.
Baltimore,
okay, hold on.
11 years.
Hold on 1 second, Mr. Newson. Okay, so your first college band directing gig was at Albany State. This year was what, 1970, early 1970s. Okay, and
it was 77.
Okay, now how the opportunity arise at Morgan State?
I had been at Albany, Georgia for 1 year, and the university wasn't satisfied with the progress of the band. And so happened, chairman of the music department at Morgan and my brother, both of them was working on their PhDs at Peabody at that time. And they kind of talked about me, and the next thing I know, to Morgan I go. The price was right. They gave my wife a job, and she's still there. I've been gone, but I'm open, and that was as the associate band director at Howard University, because I was there at Howard 32, but I was the director for 25. So I was under Richard Lee was the head band director when I got there, and he didn't feel that he was at the
Mr. Newson,
a field person, and so
Mr. Newson.
Huh?
Can you hear me? Can we backtrack a little bit? So just to kind of, before we get to Howard, so what was the band program like at Morgan when you arrived there? What was the climate as far as the band on the band side?
Uh, it's kind of hard to relate to because, well, the band was large. There's no question about the band was large, and they was playing, I think, Grambling up in the Whitney Young Classic every year, and I know they had Jackson State and Grambling the same year, which are two monsters. They played them in New York and Philadelphia, and the administration was not satisfied with the progress then. And Mr. Miles, who ended up being my associate at that time, he had told me that, he wasn't really into the marching band. He was a jazz man, concert band, and he didn't have no problems working with me at Morgan State. So off I went to Morgan State. I had to make some changes, of course, and behold, that band, they'd done more Monday night football games than any other college band in the country. We traveled, we had all kind of events that we were invited to, all kind of NFL. So at that time, we made a whole lot of progress.
Yeah. So are there any when you say you made some changes, so are there any changes or traditions that you brought that still exist today in the Morgan Band?
Well, I changed. I think they had white shoes when I got there. I changed that, and they had to get the black shoes with the specs. They had the big buffalo hats at the time. I changed that to the ones that they use now, and most university bands use them. And so with that, and teaching them how to wear a uniform, and also the concept of what a uniform is supposed to do in regard to the way it looks, because when you're picking a uniform, you try to go for at least 3-dimension look, and you got to make sure that it's there. I mean, the front, and then when you are doing formations and you turn all the way around, they get a different look and concept, and then if you go to the side, they get a third look. And I was able to do that and put some flash with it, and they were known as the Magnificent Marching Machine when I was there, and I told them to earn their name. So we spent many nights out on the field, no lights. Everybody had to volunteer and turn their head on while we practiced in the dark. And we had to start jumping cars off after practice.
Oh yeah.
And went from, but all right.
That's good times.
Good band, close band. And, yeah, we had a good time.
Okay. So
I don't.
I'm sorry, it was chopping up, sir. Say it again.
No, so I enjoyed myself, and I ended up having a great friend there, and still have great friends at Morgan. So, and I think they were sad when I left, but they wished me well until they found out I was going to Howard. And Howard got mad because me from Morgan over there, and so I was in a kind of little limbo there for a little while. But
so hold on now. So the rivalry between Morgan and Howard predates you going out there. So tell me a little bit about that. How that rivalry stem?
What?
How that rivalry begin? So it sounds like that was a rivalry before you even moved down to Howard, huh?
Well, I guess Morgan and Howard had a little rivalry, but it wasn't nothing major. But once, with me being at Howard and Morgan right there, they had some good duels and matchups and so forth. And I was halfway kind of split with what was going on at times. And I see my old band over there, and I see the new band here, and the students wishing me well. And it took about 2 years for me to fit in with the Howard band. But since then, I've had students from Morgan who have graduated from Morgan, got married, and sent their kids to Howard. It's about 4 or 5 families that I have taught 2 generations, and I think I was 3rd generation before I retired.
So, you going to Southern, you know, there's a unique style that Southern brings. Now, are there any of those, nuances or flavors, so to speak, that you brought to Morgan and Howard that you brought from Southern?
Well, I say it like this: I brought the style to Morgan, and when I left Morgan and I went to Howard, I just changed the style a little and the concept of the shows and everything, the drill, and made the show more entertaining. And my whole thing is, even when I go out, regardless where I worked at, my satisfaction comes at the end of halftime show, looking at the students in the band.
Yeah.
I really don't care too much about the audience, but I look close band members at.
Yeah. Did we lose him? Hey, Mr. Newson, you still there? Let's see if we can restart his thing real quick, y'all. It's live and direct right here. Let's see. Hey, leave some fire in the comments, y'all. Thumbs up if y'all enjoying this interview. Let Mr. Newsom know y'all enjoying it, okay? All right, let's see if we can get him back on here. All right, let's go ahead and go to another Howard University clip. This is Skin I'm In, one of HU's, man. It's one of y'all classics right here. Here we go. shout here, Mr. Newson.
Can you hear me?
I hear
You see me?
you. Yeah, I see you. I hear you, Piccolos. I hear you. Although they supposed to play, come back in together. I thought, okay, but hey, Mr. Newson. So who wrote that arrangement right there?
Huh?
Who wrote that arrangement of Skin? Yeah.
Adolph Wright, who was the assistant band director when I got there. That was it's been modified at least 4 or 5.
That makes sense. I can, I'm very familiar with his style when he was at Bowie, man. That makes sense now. So a lot of people say that you guys of all HBCUs may have the arrangement most close to the actual song by Cameo.
I
hear that a lot.
Some reason we all do, but Cameo is a hot tune now, not only in the MEAC but also in the SWAC. So, you can hear that at all times. But I was telling you that once I got to Howard, they were known as the Soul Steppers.
The Show Steppers.
In '86, yeah. I don't know how long they had the name, but and it stayed that way until '88. And we had a classic game out in LA against Southern University. And that name Showtime was here, it was there, it was everywhere we turned around. And I told the announcer to kind of use it in our show. And he did. And next thing I knew, it grew and grew. And by that next year, we had changed the name from Soul Steppers to Showtime.
What year was the Southern game? Howard versus Southern?
1988.
Okay, and then I learned something today. I was speaking to one of your former students, Steve Smith. He gave me the the acronym. So apparently, Showtime stands for showing how our working together inspires music everywhere.
You got it.
Did I say it right? Go ahead. Showing how our working together inspires music everywhere. So did you come up with that?
I can say, yeah, I did, because I got it. I stole it from LA. That's about all I can say.
Get out of here.
It was just a word that, whether it was the radio or TV or whatever, I was hearing Showtime all the time, for the most part, everywhere I was going. And so I thought about using that. And the thing is, the way our shows at Howard was, I always like to have an element of surprise within the halftime show.
Yeah. And
so I would do different things. I have the little kids sometime. I have things with the ever ready battery with everybody popping up here and there. You name it, I would do all kinds of different things. The bunny rabbit, because it was at that time that a whole lot of commercials out was good. The grapevine. I had the Temptations. The grapevine.
The California raisins. The raisins, right?
They call them gimmicks.
Yeah,
the California raisins. The thing was, I know a whole lot of people call them gimmicks, but in most of your core styles of bands, they call it props. And so now everybody's doing props or gimmicks, but the main thing is to entertain your crowd, and that's my goal every time they go out to perform.
Yeah. I think as long as if musicianship obviously comes first. A band is what you are. I think as long as you bring in musicianship, you got to have some showmanship along with it too. So I think Howard has always had. They focus on both, in my opinion. You always focus on the show side and the music side. So, What's some of your most memorable performances, during your tenure at Howard?
Well, my first one is, I have to say, is President Barack Obama's inaugural parade. That I would have to top that as the top.
Mm.
Also, the Mason's Day Parade up in New York, the opening of the Smith's African American Museum is another one. We've been guest artists in Bermuda on 3 different occasions. Uh, the list goes on, but those are some of the major ones that I will always remember. And that's why I have this big wall with everything on it right now.
Yeah, that wall is nice right there. How long did it take you to put that wall together?
Yeah, I've been working on it for ever since I retired a year ago, and I'm still working on it and stuff. But it's something I can come down and reflect on the good days and the good memories. I miss it, but it was time for me to move on and do better things. After 50 years of doing it, I and my head a little weak at times, and the stress and riding them buses and so forth. After so long and 50 years of doing it, it was time to step away. I can look at my grandkids grow up now, and my little great grandkid grow up and be with my wife more. It's a whole different story now.
What's your relationship like right now with the band program? And specifically, what's your relationship like with the current band director? That's Kelvin Washington, right?
Yeah, he was my associate director. We had a good relationship, and he was the arranger, not the arranger, but the head arranger band. And this is first year being there as head band director, and I had a chance to see part of the show at homecoming, and he's doing great.
Well, he's also a graduate of Southern University, right?
Yeah,
and then
Southern University.
Okay, and then he taught high school there as well.
Yeah,
and then he followed your footsteps. He taught in Louisiana.
Yeah, he taught high school in Louisiana. He taught in Detroit, Michigan.
Right.
And he taught at UAPB.
So he followed your footsteps because you went to Detroit as well, didn't you? You went to Detroit to teach. You also went to taught in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And you went to Southern.
Yeah.
He went to Southern. So that's very ironic, man. He had a very similar past as you.
Yeah, we did in so many ways, and we have a good time and a whole lot of work. But he's a whole lot of fun to work with, and he's getting the program under his footsteps now, and he's making some changes, and he's putting his mark down on the game with the band.
Well, let me ask you this. How does obviously you laid some strong traditions with that program. Some things, are very indicative of who Showtime. It's in the thread, it's in the fabric now. So how does he grow? What advice do you give a director to say, look, it's your program now. You can grow on it, but how do you maintain tradition but still build on a traditional program like that?
It's something like building a house. The foundation is there.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, with a house, you might want to change the furniture some week, some year.
Yeah.
You might want to change something. But, he's doing his own thing. He's doing the Kelvin Washington production and not necessarily the John Newson production. And the thing is, the fundamentals are there, and pretty much the system and the formations or whatever is all that's embedded. Mm-hmm. And most schools, you can take any school in the SWAC or the NAIAC, you have your standard tunes, and we have ours and so forth. And you can look at Jackson State, that you can close your eyes and know that they're gonna be playing Get Ready.
Yeah.
And other schools got box, and we got the same thing, and Southern does the same thing. What's the history of
I'm sorry. What's the history of the Woo song? When you talk about trademark songs, the Woo song, what does that mean to Howard's program and the kids?
The Woo song,
The Woo song.
I can't think too much about the Woo song. The Woo song was there when I got there.
Really?
I
Okay.
heard the theme came from some cartoon, but I do not know anything, and it's no words with it. And all they say in the middle of the song is "woo," and but
That's
it's a
why it's
popular
called.
tune.
Yeah. Hey,
Give me
somebody in the
how
comments, hey,
time
somebody in the
when you
comments that know the name of
don't.
the cartoon, put in the comment section, y'all. If anybody knows that, I'm curious to look that up now. Where did that come from? The Woo song. Somebody in the comments gonna let us
Yeah,
know. All right.
that's something I know. I don't know,
Yeah, I'm
but
curious now.
they enjoy it, and they
Okay.
yeah, it's
How
it's all a Woo song.
what sets Howard's band apart from other HBCUs in the nation?
How are they?
Yeah, what sets Howard's what sets the Showtime band apart from other HBCU bands in the nation?
Well, well, Howard University is the mecca, and the thing is, the school is embedded in doing everything to the tops, whatever they're doing. It's if you go out and get the best mathematician, you go out and get the best whatever. And we try to make sure that at Howard everything is tops.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need you there 8, 7 weeks. They just want you to come in, do your job, do it outstanding, and go home.
Yeah.
Because the campus is not that big, but the program works the same way. We try to make sure that uh, we have that we can produce a great band. We got great entertainers coming in with us. We have people that have gone on to be professionals
Mm-hmm.
out of the band program, and so it's for it being set aside, uh, just most of them by the name itself. I
Yeah.
mean, Howard University.
Well,
It's, it speaks
okay.
volume.
Let's change the gears a little bit here. So, I think this is affecting a lot of the major cities in the nation, but the band programs, a lot of them aren't booming as much as they were, let's say, back in the 80s, back in the 70s, back in the 90s. So, especially, it's really affecting the DC area, the gentrification and folks moving in, folks moving out. It's not the same. It's not Chocolate City no more by far. I mean, you could probably agree to that. So, what let's start with this. What was the relationship like with UDC back when you were because they had a band program at one point, right? The
How,
Firebirds.
yeah,
But
yeah.
was
They
there
had a
was there a
program.
relationship? Okay.
Yeah, they had a good program there for a while, and uh, I think because of financial reasons, they much that just went down and so forth. But it was a strong program in its own way. I mean, um, they had several different band directors, and they went through that. Dr. Richmond Myrick was one. Um, can't even think of the other man name right now. But anyway,
Yeah.
and then after the band program shut down, several of them signed up for classes through the consortium program and became part of Howard's band
Gotcha.
for several years. And, and so that implemented our numbers and went from there. But, right now they have these schools like Trinity, who has students to come over, and also UDC, and they come over and under the consortium.
Okay.
And sometimes it works, other times it don't work because of their class schedules and so forth, and it presented a problem. So
Hmm.
at the end, I think I had pretty much ceased with the outside students.
Okay. So just
So
getting back
I
to
had
the local
our
area
students.
in DC, what needs to happen to reignite band culture in the city? Well, just let's say in the DMV in general, in the whole DMV area. It's being, it's across the board.
Well, well, this is across the country right now. Finally, not supporting these high schools and junior highs. I mean, maybe back, I can say around the 80s, when I got here, I did help them to form the band field every year. Every band had to participate, and every band had to do sight reading and so forth. And the school system was supplying instruments, supplying the music and repairs and everything, and everything just dwindled down. And I don't think you have over 3 marching bands in the city right now. I'm trying to think of Easton, Dunbar, Woodson. It might be more than 3 or 4, but everybody's trying to, and everybody's trying to make it with what they can get. But what's required is public schools to implement that back into the budget. And the thing is that to take the students off the streets.
Yeah.
Because a whole lot of the students are out there doing nothing after school, getting in trouble and so forth. But band is a special ways that they can go to, and once they get it, you can be assured that you're going to have some dedicated students, and band you out of discipline also, which makes a big difference. So once you got a disciplined band, you got a good band. And these programs are needed in the school systems. As I used to go out and recruit to different cities, everybody was doing the same kind of complaining. And some of these students are not even up instruments until they get to high school, because middle schools and the elementary schools have cut out instrumental music altogether.
Yeah. So
it's a major issue.
When we spoke, I'm gonna say last year, I came over to visit you, and we talked about, before this whole Corona thing, I was able to visit people and stuff, but we talked about a student of yours that told a story that she didn't have an instrument. She didn't have an instrument, and she played clarinet just like you did. So what's that story? Let everybody know what that story was and how you blessed this student with your instrument. Go ahead and tell us the story.
Well, the story that goes back, I think she was a freshman, and she was out of the St. Louis area, and she was on the bus. I think she left the clarinet on the bus, and she was moping and crying and so forth. And I pulled her in my office and said, "Hey, I got 3 or 4 clarinets. Take this one, use it until you can get something else." And Sherry Jenkins was her name. I'm not sure what her name is, but Sherry Jenkins was her name. And she just fell in love with me from that standpoint. And, she appreciated what I had done, because she was getting ready to change her major and do something else. She ended up not only graduating, but went back, and I think she taught for about 10 or 15 years and not years, but they had a mutual and her husband and so forth. So I've been to their house and for dinner, and I had a great time. And had great memories. They had to surprise me.
Yeah. So for you to have a career as long as you had, 50 years is that's insane. What does it take for a director to have that type of longevity in this craft? What are some keys to success for having that kind of longevity in this game that long?
I know you're breaking up real bad, but
you said, let me repeat it. I was saying that you to have a 50-year career, that's insane. So what does it take to have that kind of longevity? Let's say a band director is getting started. What does it take to have that longevity in this band game?
Band directors, period, across the country, me included, sometimes serve as the father, the mother, the uncle, the grandfather, the counselor, advisor, and it expands through not only the books and so forth, but their personal life, and it goes real deep. They love life. They tell you some things, and they confide in you because they feel comfortable coming around an adult, and that band director is there to listen. Well, some of them are, and I'm in that category that I sit there and listen, and I'm concerned because I told him I'm there, and I'm glad to see them come, but I'm even gladder to see when they graduate and stuff. So it makes a big difference, and they're in contact with me all the time, and
Yeah.
I miss them, but at the same time, life goes on.
I was about to
And
say, I
I'm gonna
know you miss
probably
being on.
start making both games.
Yeah, I know you miss being up there.
I'm going.
What's the biggest thing you miss about being a band director?
What is the what?
What do you miss the most about being a band director?
I miss. I mean, the work was there. So I mean, the work was always there. But I think the communicating with these students and just following them through their life, and they end up getting a boyfriend, a girlfriend in the band, and they get married, and off they go, and so forth. And it's a whole lot of things that they will come and confide in me that they wouldn't confide in a history teacher.
Right.
So I have no problems listening on and go from there. But we got to realize that in addition to our own blood family, band directors got all these students out there that's a whole different family.
Yeah.
And I love them dearly, and they love me dearly, which is great.
Yeah.
So
So
it makes a
what's
big
what's
difference. But
what's in
yeah,
store?
they
What's in store for this next chapter in your life? We talked a little bit about you, redecorating the house and things like that. But what's in store for you? What's the next? What's the next thing for Mr. Newson?
what's the next stage?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. We're gonna do some traveling. Uh, my wife is close to retiring, and when she retires, off we go.
Okay.
I'm not sure where we're going right now. We definitely not going out of the country right now, but we plan on doing some traveling, and it's gonna be within the United States. This virus got to end before we do that.
Oh my
But
God. Yeah.
plan on
Yeah.
doing some traveling and seeing people while and go from there and just enjoying life. And not worrying, looking at the clock and see what time I got to get up or what time I got to go to bed, and just sitting back and relaxing. And I'm on my own clock.
I
Of
hear you.
course, I tell my family I go to bed every night, but I don't know what time it is now, but
Uh,
it doesn't matter because I
yeah.
can get up whenever tomorrow morning.
I ain't gonna look. I ain't keep you up
I
too
don't have
late.
any.
Yeah. So do you plan to be
It's
involved?
great.
Do you plan to have any involvement at all in the band in band culture at all, on any level, or you pretty much you're done with band?
Yeah, I wanted to take a year off away from bands. Uh, but next year I'm gonna do some clinics, some workshops, uh, do some adjudications, being a consultant, and just get back into it from that standpoint.
Yeah.
But nothing major that's gonna time down 5 days a week. But
Yeah.
I will be starting that back up. And and other than that, just enjoying life
Yeah.
with no pressure.
I hear that.
Stuff. But
I hear
no,
that. Like you said, my thing. When
I
when I retire, I want to say I don't want a clock in my house at all. I don't want to know what time it is. That's when I retire. That's how I want to live. Get up when I want to get up, go to sleep, and just redo it every day.
that's me.
That's the
And I'm great job of pretty much getting up, going when I want to,
yeah,
even take evening nap.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's love. But the love of band not gonna ever go away because I think we started around 8 or 9 years old
yeah,
in that one program. and you go all the way through high school, and you go to college and get your master's and teach for 50 years. That's your whole life. So that
Hey,
makes a big difference. So
hey, everybody
out
in
of
the
that,
comment section, everybody in the comment section, I need you to leave some questions in the comments for Mr. Newson. You know, we're not gonna be up all night asking questions, but we're gonna go through a couple of them. So if you have any questions for Mr. Newsom, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. You know, hey, Mr. Newsom, always, I'm curious about this question. It's a two-part question. So I asked you this way first: as a band director, what are you most proud of? And then as a man in general, as a human being, what has made you the most proud on both sides?
what made me most proud?
Yeah, what are you most proud
If
of
that's the
as
question.
what are you most proud of as a band director, and what are you most proud of as a person in general, as a man? Let's say for you being on this earth, what has made you the most proud?
I think a combination of both. I'm proud of the students, first of all, and like I said, uh, doing a performance, a halftime show, and a whole football game. It's a student organization, and I try to instill in them to be leaders. And for the most part, no director is conducting anything unless they just want to,
Mm-hmm.
and let them grow as leaders in the band, and realize that, that they are sitting there doing this on their own. I mean, it's being taught during the week, but what they're doing is teaching it about them, embedding in each other the leadership, and being able to go out and perform and do a great job, and we can sit there.
Yeah.
For the most part, for what we do, most directors just sit there and just overlook it. But I just like to see their faces after a halftime show, and see, see their faces, and the smiles and so forth, and they stuck out like they know they've done a great job.
Yeah.
But that helped me. And as a human being, I just like to see them progress and go through college, and do the and graduate. And I think one drawback, I see too many of them want to stay in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, you got the whole country out there that's looking for band directors and so forth.
Yeah.
Go and experiment, because, I went to cities I didn't know no one. I went to Prairie View. I went to Detroit. I went to, matter of fact, Albany, Georgia. I didn't know anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So get out there. You have the skills. It's just a matter of displaying
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's work in the beginning. You're going to feel rewarded wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. Comments. I got a question for you. So, Skeet Washington, he asks, what were the top, in your opinion, what were the top 5 best HU band? I guess by season. What were some of the better HU bands while you were there?
Oh, you shouldn't ask that kind of question, but
I know. All right. Well, let's. You want to say all of them were good?
say just go with about 3 or 4 good bands.
Okay.
And I'm talking about back in the '60s. You got Dr. Foster at Florida A&M. You
Oh, no,
had
no, no. I mean Howard
Greer
band.
at Tennessee.
Howard bands, Mr. Newsom.
Huh?
Howard band, HU.
Oh, about Howard band. Oh, what year?
Yeah, which years? Top 5, top
What was the
3,
question
4.
about? Oh, the band.
Yeah.
Ooh, these students argue all the time about that. And I'm gonna probably get 1,000 phone calls. I was at an '88 band in regard to their performances, but that band that went to Honda and the band that performed for Obama, I'm not sure what years that was, but they know those were the years that stood out. And for that Honda Battle of the Bands, we practiced in the snow, we practiced in the gym, and we never did put that whole show together until we got to Atlanta, and it was cold and rainy down there. So that band stood out. And at the same time, President Obama's parade uh, it was work that week. And again, it's the weather conditions. That's the reason a whole lot of the bands that's in Honda uh, from the down south,
Yeah.
and the weather conditions not as bad, but up this way you just don't know. But I would say those 3 years with that band, and I'm not sure what years they were, but I know they can tell you.
So
uh,
you said the Honda. You
all
said
of them
the
are good
Honda
to me.
the Honda band. You said 88, and then you said the band that performed for Barack Obama.
Yeah, the year of the 1988 band,
Uh huh.
the year the band went to Honda,
Uh huh.
the year the band uh, after Honda, oh, the President Obama's
Okay.
parade and the Macy's Day parade. I was at the top for.
I'm surprised you didn't say like in the mid '90s, '96, '97, man. Yeah, yeah. At least the trumpets. I remember your trumpet section was insane during that time. But the band in general was pretty. Yeah, y'all were pretty
Oh,
strong. The mid '90s.
yeah, we had. I remember in Morris Brown. That's it. That's the one that put us over the hurdle.
Yeah, yeah.
And we went in there and we went in there and took care of business.
What
That's
you
what I
do?
can
And
do.
Mr.
I
Newson,
felt
hold on.
like
Don't be
I
humble.
remember.
Don't be humble about it. What y'all do down Morris Brown, Mr. Newson?
I just I like to let band members brag and talk about good years, bad years, but I'm never one to gloat. But they know, and when I have my private meeting with them, I tell them exactly what I think and go from there.
Okay.
And I think my worst critic is my wife.
Yeah.
And when I get home and after a game, and she went to Grambling, so what can I say? But those bands stood out, and we always had a good Trump section until the budget. They started cutting the budget at Southern, and we were not able to get all those good students like we had. But it's
Mhm.
coming back based on what Washington is saying. They should have the numbers this year to put it back up to where it is.
Okay. One of your former students, Akila Bell, she asked, "What is it going to take for Howard to get a practice field?"
Who wants to get a practice field?
Akila Bell, she's one of your former students, I think. She's
What does she want?
He said, "What will it take for HU to get a practice field?"
What is I can understand.
What will it take for you guys to get a practice field at Howard?
To get Howard where?
To get a practice field.
What does it take to get Howard to the field?
No, what would it take for you guys to get a practice field? It might be
break up at the end.
It might be the
time.
Wi-Fi connection. That must be a question not meant to be answered. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you now. It's a little cracking, but yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. She said that you guys don't have a practice field. What would it take for Howard to get a practice field?
Oh, getting a practice field at Howard?
Yeah.
Chances are slim and none.
No. Okay.
They did when they took up that last set of AstroTurf. They rolled it up, and they was going to lay out that field that next year. And this has been about 4 years ago. And that roll of AstroTurf is still out there. I don't think that once they start unrolling it, they're not going to be happy with it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm retired now, but they could throw it away because I done seen a little everything run out of that no rolls of AstroTurf. So now the universe is short for land.
Yeah.
I don't think they use it all the right way, but it's after you complain so long, you just walk away and say, hey, that's it, and go from there. But we found ways to practice. We practice in the dark, in the stadium with no lights. We practice in the parking lot. We practice, and that make the students appreciate or feel when they get to it. Go
I
from
got
there,
a good question came in from
I
Jermaine
don't
White.
know what the
Uh, excuse me, Jermaine White asks, the band went through a couple of protests during your tenure. What are your memories from those times?
okay, yeah, they had several protests, and it was all in conjunction with uniforms and instruments and scholarships. Uh, I mean, I think the first one that I had while I was there, it was about uniforms, and the uniforms were falling apart, and it was the week before homecoming. Uh, we practiced all week and done our walkthrough that Saturday morning, and then when it was time for the game, no band.
Gotcha.
And so they called me out, and I told them they didn't show up. So I went out and sit in the stands, making sure they wasn't gonna fire me. And after which, I think somewhere in the first quarter, second quarter, they marched into the stands all black. Uh, Told them to come in there all black. I wouldn't have got it. But anyway, they marched in and sit in the stands, if I remember correctly, and up the school newspaper, the Hilltop, most of the game, through the halftime and so forth. Nobody done the national anthem, lift their voice. And I think at the third quarter, they lined up, they marched around the track, and marched out of the stadium, and the president was in my office and the band room that Monday.
Hmm.
And they said they wasn't going to march for homecoming unless they got new uniforms. And I let them talk to the president, uh, and I told them to express whatever they wanted. And they pretty much just said that, unless they can get some new uniforms, I mean, not uniforms right there, but a purchase order that they can go and buy uniforms. Something that I've been begging for over 5 or 6 years. Because the life expectancy of a uniform is about 5 years, 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
especially with an HBCU. And core styles, yeah, they can last 5 or 6 years. They can last 7 or 8, but we be doing all kind of things in the uniforms, and it makes a difference. But anyway, the president got a purchase order signed that week, and the band performed for homecoming. The last one was about scholarships, and uh, they did halftime for me because one of my staff, and I had this staff, and one away, and the show was dedicated to their family, and their family was from West Virginia, and all those came, and we was doing a show dedicated to him, and they came out in all black again, and marched in, done the halftime show, and marched right back out. And
Okay.
it's just the same thing that's going on today. Is that you got to sit there, and the university got to understand what it's like with uniforms and the life expectancy. Those uniforms that they're in right now, it's 10 years old,
Wow.
and they dry rotted,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they supposed to get new uniforms. And I think due to the virus, uniform companies shut down, and they start selling the gloves, the mask, and everything else like that. And so it won't be this year that they get new uniforms, because it takes almost 8 to 9 months to make a uniform. And whenever they get it, they're going to be in dire need for them. But
Yeah.
those were the two. It might have been three. I just can't think of the third one.
Okay.
But one was about scholarships and one was about uniforms and money and stuff. But they
Yeah.
made it. And, I just got to instill in them, again, leadership. And a student can get more from an administration than a band director, because we can sit there and do the work and let those 10 people sign it before it get to the president, and it's still nothing like
Yeah.
direct
Yeah.
contact with the president and then seeing these things in motion, and go from there. But
Okay. All right.
it's a challenge, but all these schools are hurting, but financially, you want to keep a program. The best thing to do is put money into the program, and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So, hey, sir, I want to say I am greatly humbled. I keep saying whenever I say sir, Siri think I'm talking to my phone. I'm serious. I always got to cut off. But hey, sir, I want to let you know, man, that this is definitely an honor that you accepted my invitation for this show. I learned so much talking to you. I look forward to being able to come over and visit you at some point again after this Corona thing. But I really appreciate you being on the show. I wish the best to Mr. Washington, the current band director at Howard now. I look forward to meeting him one day. I haven't had a chance to meet him yet. But yes, sir, I just wanted to say thank you for being on the show tonight.
well, I appreciate being here. I appreciate sharing the information with you. And I'm always around now, retired. So just stay in contact with me.
Yes.
And keep this good work going on these programs because they're needed.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Thank you again.
We're gonna keep it going. Let's go ahead and close out with Nights by Nights. This is Howard University Nights by Nights right here. Hey, that was Nights by Nights by Howard University, man. That's a great ass arrangement right there, man. Hey, look, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. What we gonna do? We gonna keep it. Yeah, that's how we gonna do it. We gonna go ahead and crank out with some more Howard, man. You want to continue watching? Let's do it. I'm gonna go ahead and run this song, and we gonna go ahead and run that Morris Brown versus Howard fifth quarter. All right. Let's go ahead and have a, you know what I'm saying? We should do Night of the Living Bandheads. Let's do it now. Night of the Living Bandheads right here, y'all. I don't appreciate you cranking on me like that, Howard. I don't appreciate it, man. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like this thing, man. Go ahead and share it out. Da 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 da. Ha! Yeah. All right, let's get into this Morris Brown. We talked about it a little bit. Let's get into this Morris Brown versus Howard fifth quarter from 2002. Let's go ahead and run it because I don't think I watched this whole thing ever. So let's go ahead and watch it together. Let's see what's going on with this thing. Hey man, I appreciate y'all tuning in. You know what I'm saying? This is this stuff we need for the culture right here. We need to get this history documented, and that's what we're gonna keep on doing, man. I appreciate Mr. Newson for being on. All right, let's get on this thing, man. This is Howard Morris Brown, 2002, fifth quarter. Shout out to Tape Master. Yeah. Howard never had a huge band, man, but y'all have the killers. Hurry up, man. Like he said, 88. I know 96, man. Y'all was smashing too. Hey, thanks, Larry. Appreciate you, bro. Look at Ooh La La, man. Y'all deep. Them girls deep. Okay, trumpet. Mellow. Hey, any of y'all friends with me on Facebook, send me a message, and I'm gonna try to bring you on live. All right. Send me a message on Facebook and I'll try to bring you on. I'm going to send you a link. My name on there is EDDIEEVANS, Eddie Evans. This is for only Howard, former members from Howard Band or current members. I want y'all to say something positive for Mr. Newson. Whatever your contribution is to the band, your memories. Go, A shoot. Look at his face. He like this. You hear that? You hear that? Trumpets, bro. Hey, Sean, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Oh. They gonna go into Casanova like that? This feel like some second line. This like some New Orleans right here. Mr. Newson brought that Louisiana up there. Boom. What's going on, the instructor? What's going on, bro? Well, actually, it could be ma'am. That could be man or woman. The instructor. Hey Skeet, you can follow me on Instagram. Send me a message on Instagram at MeetMeOn50. And then I can send you a link on there. I think. Y'all better harmonize. I see you. Morris Brown got tired of waiting. They said they got tired of waiting, y'all. Hey, click that link, Skeet. I just replied to you, bro. Morris Brown looks small, man. What year was this, 2002? What year did Norfolk go down there? I know they was double that size. Slow it down, HU. Hey, Akila, I want to get you on here live. Go on at MeetMeOn50 on Instagram. Send me a message on there, and I'm gonna get you live. I'm gonna get you on here. Hey, what y'all eating, man? I'm hungry over here, y'all. I ain't had dinner yet. I ain't had time. I had to make sure I got on here on time for Mr. Newson. Yeah, send me a message, Tequila. Okay. Sounds good. That sounds good right there. What up, bro?
What's up?
All right, all right. Hold on, wait till the song go off. Hold on, what's that? All right, we got Skeet Washington, man. This is I think you a former member of HU.
Yeah, man, I was there from 99 to 04, marched in the saxophone section, and was drum major back in 03.
What? 03? Okay, okay. So what's some of
Yeah.
your memories, man, from being in the band?
Hey, man, like that was the bulk of my Howard experience, man. Like, hell, man, all we had time to do was go to class and go to band, man. We did a lot of travel. Man, you know, being from Atlanta, I had never really traveled a lot. Hell, matter of fact, I haven't traveled at all. So, you know, leaving Atlanta, going to DC was huge for me anyway. But the band, man, we had a lot of opportunities, man, to do a lot of traveling. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna let her run in the background right here, man. Let's go ahead. You gonna go ahead and enjoy some of these clips right here, man. So, what were some of your favorite moments with Mr. Newson?
oh, man, I became a band director back at home in Atlanta, man. So I just use a lot of those things that I learned at Howard, and I kind of applied them today to my band.
Okay. And what's the name of your band program?
KIP Atlanta Collegiate.
Kip, you down in Atlanta?
Yep.
Oh man, go ahead. He just talked about, man, kids need to go out and not try to find schools right there in the DC area. So you went ahead and followed his advice, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. So, you know, man, being that I was from Atlanta, I came back home. So and like, man, just sticking to like the traveling aspect, man. One thing that I make sure that my kids do is travel, man. So my band have went to the Bahamas. We have performed in the Bahamas, Trinidad. We've been to South Africa twice, and we went to Turks and Caicos last year.
Go ahead, bro.
So
all right, man. Appreciate you, Skeet, man. So I'm gonna follow you on Instagram now. You done sent me a message on Instagram, so I'm gonna follow you back, bro.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right, man. Look, you know how to reach me, man. You ever need anything, let me know.
For sure.
All right, Skeet.
All right, Doc.
All right, later. All right, man. Let's go and get back on this fifth right here. This is 2002, Morris Brown versus Howard, y'all. Upper brass is crazy. Please. Nice. Hey, Akila, I just sent you the link. I sent you the link so we can go live. I can't think of Morris Brown and not think of Drumline, man. Every time I see him, I think of J. Anthony Brown turning around, laughing at Atlanta A&T. Make sure y'all pick up this book, Generational Wealth. What I told you about earlier, y'all. Real quick read, it'll give you everything you need. Generational Wealth. Boy, Orlando Thomas. Man, no bands don't play no Earth, Wind, and Fire no more, man. I ain't heard an Earth, Wind, and Fire song in a long time. And this is all we used to play back in the day right here. Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's crazy how Morris Brown was night and day, 2002, 2003. But they double this size. Yeah! Hold on, Showtime! It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Throw the white flag, man. White flag. White flag, man. Foul on the play. Go ahead, Upper Brad. I need more from the trombones. I need more from the lower Brad. Sousaphone holding it down, though. Don't y'all miss songs like this, man? Can you imagine if Howard had numbers though, man? Let's go. All downhill from here. For Morris Brown, man. All downhill. Hey, cameraman, he need to be a little closer, though. He not right in the middle. That's all I'm going to say. He way closer to Howard, man. But you can still tell Howard was doing their thing, man. You got to call it down the middle, though, man. This shows and proves that you don't need to have a big band to kick some ass, man. Not at all. They playing this though. I ain't gonna lie. They playing this. Hey Larry, man, I would love to hear you write some Earth, Wind, and Fire, bro. I know you probably already have for AOB. Can you imagine if you was an arranger back in this time, though? Come on. Yes, sir, Charles. Bring it back. Bring back R&B. I appreciate y'all for rocking out with me, man. I know it's late. I will order me a pizza, man, but I'm scared Domino's might support Trump too. You heard about all the restaurants? Hold on. All right, HU, y'all better come with it, man. What's going on, Akila? I see you. There she go. Hey, HU better come with something hard after this right here, Akila. Let's see. All right. Let me go ahead and pause this thing right here. That was clean. Hey, y'all, we have Akila Bell on here, man. This is, let me go get you on the big screen. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. There you go. What's happening with you?
Hey, how y'all doing? I hope everybody's staying safe in the middle of this pandemic and in the middle of the civil unrest.
Yeah,
trying to get justice for our Black sisters and brothers that are being oppressed by certain members of the police department. Not everybody, just certain members.
Right. Where you at now? Where you living? You in the area still?
Oh, no problem. So I live in Baltimore.
Okay.
I do my community service in Baltimore, but I commute to Annapolis for work. So because of COVID, I'm actually I'm here enjoying my last week of teleworking.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm loving teleworking. I'm loving it. I can't.
I'm loving it too. It's okay,
all right, what's some of your memorable experiences in the band and working and being under Mr. Newson?
Man, I think that my best experiences actually were the camaraderie that you learn being in the band, because being in band and coming in as a freshman early to Howard, walking on the campus and just feeling the roots of the people that have come before you. You know, you get all of, I guess, the legacy. Sometimes you just had to stop and say, hey, I'm at Howard, where Thurgood Marshall was, where, you know, people came and made huge changes in the lives of African Americans. And here I am trying to earn my degree to go back home, give back to my people, earn a living that makes more than my parents did. And be able to create my own future.
Make your own, blaze your own trail, right?
You blaze your own trail, but the importance is that not only do you blaze your own trail, but you have the ability to give back to those that are coming after you. I'm from a family where I was the first one to go away to college, and even though it was down the street at Howard, my parents would call and say, "What are you doing? Are you clubbing? You in DC?" And I'm like, no, I'm with the band after band practice. I'm studying. I'm trying to get the GPA, because Mr. Newson had a saying, go to class. You know, you're here to get an education. The band is wonderful, but the education is what's going to carry you. And I remember specifically going to my first serious job interview after graduating from Howard and getting that paper and that degree in my hand. And lo and behold, I said, I'm a graduate of Howard University. And people sat up straight and took me seriously just because I had the Howard University name behind me. But the important part was not only that I had the Howard University name behind me, but I had the education to back it up. I had the network to back it up. And the experiences in living real life that I learned through the band, through becoming a member of one of the top chapters of Tau Beta Sigma, National Honorary Band Sorority Incorporated.
MLITB, okay.
I mean, it was wonderful. And the experiences that you get from Howard, like coming from Baltimore and experiencing my friends that went to the high school next door, you know, Polytechnic High School, Baltimore Polytechnic Institute, excuse me. And we're getting on a plane and we're traveling all over the country for free.
For free. Right.
Because we did what we needed to do in high school, and Mr. Newson was nice enough to come and recruit us.
Go ahead.
And we could do what we needed to do to get in, to have the grades, to have the background, to go to class and get the education. But then at 5:45, you're showing up there and you're ready to do what you need to do so that you can go out and represent Howard University, the Black community, and also, you know, just yourself in whatever city, whatever state you went to.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, man, look, I appreciate you for being on the show, Akilah. Let's keep in touch. I think that I definitely have more questions to ask you. Let's go. I want to get back into the fifth quarter because I don't want to have everybody up all late, you know. But thank you for being on the show tonight.
Thank you so much. And you guys have a great evening.
Have a good evening. You too. All right. That was Akilah Bell, former member of HU Showtime. I'm curious to see how, so Howard had to come back strong on this right here. Let's see. I knew they were. Here we go. They're keeping it slow. They're keeping it slow, y'all. Hey, Shannon, that's an interesting point. That's an interesting point you're making, Shannon Brown. Do y'all hear this upper brass right here, man? Check out the trumpets. What's up? Oh. Hey man, y'all know anybody from this Howard band right here from this year? Hey, tag them, tell them to come in here, man. I got some questions. That was decent. Okay. They low-key setting the tone right here for real. They keeping it slow. Come on, man. Give me some energy. I think in the fifth quarter, you gotta have. Yeah, the fifth quarter, man. This should be a rule, man. No more than 2 rounds of slow song. Somebody gonna get pregnant out here. About to have a whole baby. Hey, what's going on, Miss Wallace? Yeah, my question. So, what was the difference? I mean, this year, 2002, man, y'all had a whole crazy energy in 2002. What was it about that year that made it special like that? Was it a different? Did y'all recruit a lot heavier or certain kind of instruments or what? It was just, I remember this year being strong for how. Morris brother they always had tubas. We don't need no more HBCUs shutting down, y'all. We can't afford it. They on their way back though. Hey y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up after Howard's song right here. After HU right here, we're gonna wrap it up for the night. Y'all wanna watch the rest, y'all go ahead. Last song right here. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're here. Skip the skin. Alright, let's go to skin. God. Trumpet? Trumpet. No. Y'all can't be going like that. Alright, here we go. I kinda wanna let this song play out. They building up that suspense. Okay, Woodwinds. Y'all better show up. I was wondering where y'all was at. Let's go. Clean right here. I like this. All right, let's go ahead and fast forward to skin. Let's see if we find skin. Try to find skin. Where's that? Oh, y'all about to play on the field? I thought y'all about to play on the field. Hold on. Confused. Oh, hold on. All right, let's go. Let's go. They said we gonna come on the field and rock skin. Let's go. Come on. God. Y'all was on their ass, man. Y'all was, man. Hey, man. I want to let y'all know, man. That was a hell of a battle right there. That trumpet section just reminded me about a year or two ago. They had the T-Bone Express versus the forgive me, what's the name of the trumpet section, y'all? But trombones versus trumpets, man. I was out there filming. It's on my channel, matter of fact. But we need to run that back. Look, if you in the area, let's organize that. Hit me up on Instagram at MeetMeOnThe50. Let's organize that, y'all. We need to have that T-Bone Express versus the Brass Council. How I forget that? Brass Council versus T-Bone Express. We gonna have that same. Let's run it back. When look, ain't nothing but time on our hands now. We out here quarantine or getting over this quarantine. We got plenty of time. Let's pull out these instruments. Let's have that thing right there on the yard, just like we did a couple years ago. We gotta have part 2 of that. All right, man. This has been Meet Me on the 50, man. This has been the Director's Corner with Mr. John Newson, man. Excellent interview. I appreciate everybody who chimed in. Yeah, we gonna go ahead and close out. Like I said, knowledge is power. If you are trying to get into investments, you want to learn more about just how to manage your money. It's a quick read. It gives you all the key points you need right here. I'm not sponsored by these people. I just really found a lot of value in this book right here, man. Generational Wealth, Beginner's Business and Investment Guide. All right. It's really all that it says it is, man. This thing is the truth. All right. I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all enjoy y'all evening. Look, if it's like midnight, look, I need to go on a late night run. I'm hungry. I ain't ate yet, y'all. All right. I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all take it easy.